Alright, here we go. We got Friday the 13th NES with live commentary. As you can see, I'm actually playing on a PC or my laptop. Tried to find my setup for my NES system and was unsuccessful in finding it, so had to go with a NES controller via USB onto a laptop with the FCEUX 2.5 emulator, which I got from coolroms.com, and the Friday the 13th ROM file. No cheats or input on this. Here is the controller I'm playing with, and I'm going to walk you through a very simple and easy method, no cheats involved, easy method to defeat Jason all 3 days, because he has 3 lives. They're basically broken up into 3 different days, and sorry if my quality is not very good. I actually got the inspiration to do this from Lord Chaos. He is a YouTuber as well. He puts out great videos. I highly recommend his walkthroughs that he does. Very knowledgeable guy, and he actually kind of inspired me on doing this, and hopefully he does a review of the way I play my method, and he can put out a higher quality video than I can, plus he's got some good entertainment value to it. Without further ado, walk you through this a little bit here. Obviously there's your opening screen. I'll get my mouse out of the way here. And I don't have any fun techie stuff where I can show you all the cabins and all that stuff, so you may see my dumbass in front of the screen pointing that stuff for you. And first step is to pick a camp counselor. Best option is always somebody who is fast, who can jump high, and who can row a boat the fastest, because you're going to go out to those cabins in the lake, because that's where your children are. You have 5 children per cabin, 3 cabins, 15 children you got to keep on top of all 6 of your camp counselors. So the best strategy is to pick a camp counselor who can basically do everything the best, which is definitely not George. George is slow, can't jump. He can throw decently fast, but he is all in all useless. A good pawn for Jason, good to keep around the lake in case you got to get there in a hurry and you don't have a counselor near. Mark is the fastest. He jumps the highest. He does everything the best. He doesn't throw the fastest, but when you're in battle, he does throw pretty decently. He does the job well enough. He is the Dragon Slayer on the game. Paul is pretty useless as well. He's basically a different version of George. Another good pawn to have. And it's actually good to have somebody in that corner of the map where you can see that cabin blinking. Laura is fast. She can't jump high, but she can throw fast, run fast. She doesn't row fast, but she is a good backup plan to have laying around. Debbie is a good pawn. Basically, like the other 2 dudes that don't do much, she is pretty useless. Chrissy is another version of Mark. Doesn't quite run as fast. She runs fast. She jumps high. She doesn't row fast, but she can throw fast. So she is also good to have around. But Mark being the Dragon Slayer, that's who we're going to go with here. And where you'll see here, it says use a torch to light the fireplaces. As Lord Chaos says in his video, that is probably a developer error, but here's your basic layout of the map, and get used to the music. If it doesn't bother you, then it's, you're going to have about 2 or 3 different tracks on here, and it's on repeat. Now you can see where we are on the map here on the bottom. Basically, you got to think if the map rotates with you to go that direction. So if you're on top of the map, if you're going right on the screen, you're going to go left on the map if you're on the top. Now if you're going right and you're on the bottom of the map, you're going to continue to go right. So just think of it as going into a full circle. Now, the areas of focus on this map, and you'll see me come in here, this cabin here is one of the large cabins. If you're going to go through and light the fireplaces, that is where you're going to start. This cabin right here is the main focus for me. The method I do it, you get the torch a lot faster, and the torch is actually a tool you'll use against Jason. Where I said the developer screwed up is the torch is actually a weapon. The lighter is what you're going to use to light the fireplaces. So without further ado, I'm going to go through here. Basically start, kill a few zombies. That way it leads to items popping up on the screen. There's your lighter. And I just jump around for a little bit because it leads to items popping up like the dagger right there. Jump up and grab that. The Jason alarm has sounded. And the key. And Jason is currently stalking, I think it was George that was in that cabin. Oops, we didn't want to do that. You'll see that I do this a lot because my D-pad on this USB controller is not the highest quality. It's just a cheap Amazon controller that I bought. So we're gonna hop in this cabin. Oh, George is in this one. Now, if you go into one of these smaller cabins, you can actually change from character to character. I hit start, it brings up the map again, and we can see who Jason is inevitably stalking. And the cabin that is flashing leads us to Paul. So we go to Paul, we hit start, and you can see Jason's in the room. And we got two choices here. We can either go through the cabin, try to find Jason and fight him a la Mike Tyson's Punch-Out style, which in a lot of tutorials you'll hear. Lord Chaos is the man when it came to that. His walkthrough was by far one of the best and ultimately is what inspired me bringing you this video now. Or you can just hit straight down on the directional down on your D-pad and it takes you straight to the door and hey, look who's waiting for us. Now, for your first fight in the cabin, Jason is always going to be fists. And day one cabin battles, pretty simple, pretty basic. He's not very fast. He's pretty easy to defeat. It's real easy to time his attacks and dodge him. In my humble opinion, day two, Jason is by far the worst to face in the cabin because he's either in day one speed or day three speed, and it varies. The only way to get him to stop day 3 speed is to hit him, and it should slow him down. Usually 70% of the time he slows down. We're going to go back to Mark here, and you can see the cabin flashing. We are right next to the lake, and we are right next to this cabin right here, which is where we need to go. So we're going to go back to Mark here, and you can see that I have a lighter, I have a dagger, and I have a key. Before you even think about going into the cabin I kept pointing to right there, you need to have those 3 items. Once you collect those 3 items, you can now go to the door, and we're going to head towards that cabin now, which is right here. And this is the large cabin. If you go through and light all the fireplaces, that cabin I pointed to at the start of the video is where you're going to want to start. You need at least a lighter to get that task going. It's a lot longer of a process. My process here will get you to the torch, which without me actually sitting here trying to explain it, it would get you to the torch in about 90 seconds roughly. You'll go up once, hit right on your directional D-pad, hit select to bring up your pink purpley icon right there, go to take, press the A button and take the item, and it basically just tells you to go into the woods. We're done in this cabin for now. Now you'll see a trail right here. This is where we're heading next. This is the part of the woods where Jason's shack is located, and Jason's shack is going to lead us to the next message to getting the torch. So let's jump over that zombie real quick. Go down right here to the woods. You will go right. Grab that vial of red medicine. You will need that on day 3. Day 3, Jason is basically a raging animal. You go up twice to go to Jason's cabin. Go down once, go up again. Why you got to do that, I have no idea. But now we're in Jason's shack. Jason's not in here, so we don't have to worry about running into him. Periodically, I have ran into him, but it has it has been one time out of probably at least 50 that I've played this. So it's very rare that you'll encounter him in the shack, but you can encounter him in the woods. I wouldn't be surprised if we run into him. It is possible. His movements through the map is very random, but whenever you encounter him, there is a certain direction of flow that he'll go to. And I can explain that a little more here in just a second. But now that we're in this cabin, you'll go up into the cabin as we are, and just go to the right, and it brings up your next little note here. You'll hit select and take it, and it tells you fire will damage Jason the most. That tells you basically that the torch is the best tool to use in this game. Hit right one more time, you're at the door. We'll exit. Sometimes you may find a tool laying around here that you can use. I think one time I ran into an axe. One other time I ran into a machete. They're decent weapons, but they're not nearly as effective as your machete. Now we'll leave his shack. We'll go right. You'll find one more vial of that red medicine. Go down one. Go right again. Go down one more time. We're right back at the lake, and we are right back at our cabin right here, which is where the torch is going to be located. So we will go right, and here we are. Back in the same cabin that we picked up that message originally to tell us to go into the woods. Go up once, tap down on the D-pad, and there's the torch. We'll hit select and take it. And it's that easy. You got the most powerful weapon in the game, and Jason will piss all over himself when he finds out that you're throwing torches at him, because he doesn't like taking much of that damage. Now we're armed for bear, and we are ready to encounter Jason. Typically, at this time, I like to stash Mark next to the lake, because Jason will go to the lake inevitably. He's going to go after the children, and these three cabins right here. That is his point of interest. It is not a bad idea to equip the two other fast counselors with the torch, and that is Laura and Chrissy. Chrissy is by far a better option than Laura. She jumps higher, and if you're going to go into the cabin in the cave where Jason's mother is hidden, it isn't a bad idea to equip a woman with a good weapon, because you will need a good weapon on day 2 facing Jason's mother. And hello, there he is. Now we can chase after him if we chose to. I'm not going to. I'm not equipped yet to go after him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting for us, and he is. So just duck down and spam the hell out. Honestly, this is where I prefer to fight him anyway, and I thought he'd be waiting for us in that large cabin, but he's not. Sometimes you can encounter him in the large cabins. I do have the dagger, which is an okay weapon. Not my preference, but you can do a little better damage to him with this. It is definitely not going to be your first choice to try to conquer the game with, but needed some of that red medicine right there. We'll go stash her away, and we will switch to Mark. Right there is a good spot as any, and as you can see, I stashed Mark by the lake. They actually moved him to a different location, which is fine, because he's still right there by the dock. And the reason I like to stash him by the lake is because he can row the fastest. We may lose a child here, I'm not for certain. I like to throw these torches out in the lake, because as you can see, Jason likes to. Yep, they did. He got one. That's alright, as long as he doesn't kill them all. But Jason will try to attack you on the lake. It's going to happen. And if you throw that torch out in the lake, he'll run into it and take damage. And there he is with the machete. As I said before, he starts with fists. We drove him away the first time, and now he's waiting for us with the machete. And we drive him away again. He will be waiting with an axe. And these graphics are just stunning, aren't they? And as you can see, he doesn't like too much of that damage. Typically, one hit will drive 1 bar of his life away. We're done there. Let's go stash Mark back away, and we'll go back to Chrissy and get her equipped. Wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting for us on this side. You know what? Screw it. We'll just go after him right now. We're going to leave that key right there. I don't need a key. I've already got one. It's just one key that gets you in everywhere. It's like a skeleton key. And there he is. And he's armed with an axe, as you can see. He will be waiting for us with an axe from now on. Now that axe kind of looks like a toothbrush, like Lord Chaos said. Looks like he's coming at us with a giant Oral-B. And we're done there. Maybe we'll run into him out here. Nope. Apparently he doesn't want to play with me right now. So we'll just kind of blast through here, stash him away. Go back to Chrissy. And you know, I've read a lot online about this game when I started to get back into playing NES games. And this game really got a bum rep. This game and A Nightmare on Elm Street, LJN made both games. They really like to rip on this game. And you know, you got videos like the Angry Video Game Nerd. He does it for the comedic value, which I enjoy those videos. They're funny. He's a funny guy, but these games really are quite fun to play. Alright, back to that same cabin we started in with Mark. Go up, go right. That note's there again for Chrissy. As you can see, she's got her key, she's got her lighter, she's got the knife. She's ready to rock and roll. So it tells us again, go into the woods. We're done there. We'll come back. Go back to the left. I wouldn't be surprised if we run into Jason. Oh, and also be careful at night when you're in the woods, because there are these wolves that like to come after you. No Jason, no problem. And fire will damage Jason the most. Something we already knew. There's no weapons in here for us, so we're done there. Honestly, I like to jump over a lot of the zombies. But whenever you're equipped with a good weapon, just make sure you're careful when you go to jump over them, because it does lead to lesser items like the dagger, or if you kill enough zombies, the machete. I think you got to kill 50 zombies for the machete to pop up. But we're going to select and take the torch, and Chrissy is armed, ready to rock and roll. Now we can go stash her if I can avoid hitting up on the D-pad like a dumbass. See, there's the dagger right there waiting for you. So just be careful when you're jumping. And I like to let the zombies follow me a little bit. It kind of forewarns me if Jason's coming. I guess I'm a nerd like that likes to be prepared. But he will surprise you on the platform. You know, the side-scrolling part of it. I'm going to go stash Chrissy over by the cave here. The cave is actually where Jason's mother's head is located. So I like to stash her in this cabin right here. Day 2 is the day that I will go after Jason's mother in there. Day 1 will lead you to getting a machete when you defeat her in there, which is not worth your time. Day 2 is actually the day I prefer to go after her. It leads you to her sweater, which will actually, when you're stashing your counselor away, will make him or her, but it's more effective on female than male. It will make her less susceptible to attacks from Jason. And she also takes half the damage from Jason, and she takes 0 damage from these stupid zombies and crows in the lake when you're having to row out to Jason. And there's Jason again. I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks with us to the end of day 1. you can always kind of time when he's going to come after you with the 2-strike on day 1. He will move a little quicker towards you. He's got a pattern that he really follows, and I like to feel him out the first few times, kind of get loose, and you know, just kind of feel him. There he goes. We're done with day 1. You know, you can do the torch process over and over again with all your counselors if you ever so choose to, which isn't a bad idea, I guess, if you want to get everybody equipped, but I don't like wasting the time on that. Typically on day 2 and day 3, Jason likes to go after the counselor that defeated him. You'll notice the zombies are quicker on day 2, but usually the first person Jason will stalk is the camp counselor that defeated him the previous day before. In the times I've played it, that has been the trend that I've noticed. Okay. Now we're going to go up to... When you go up to this portion of the map, there is another key hidden inside of here. There's a key at this dock. There's a key at this part of the trail. And I know up in this area of the pathway, there's another key hidden. I believe there's another one hidden by the cave as well. And there is a couple in the couple spots of the woods. So we're going to go up and grab that other key for Laura so we can get into Jason's shack. Check our progress on the trail here, and here we go. I wouldn't be surprised if Jason is here to surprise us. Just start hopping around a little bit. Since you got the dagger already, it doesn't matter if you grab another one. There's the key. We're done there. We're going to head back to the same shack that we went to when we started the torch process originally, but first, let's see who Jason is stalking inevitably. Looks like it's gonna be Paul. And look at that, he's waiting for us right at the door again. He likes Paul for some reason. I know when I watched LK's video, he was going after Debbie all the time. So you'll notice he'll go into a little quicker speed, where it looks like he's had about a 6-pack of Red Bull, and he just starts trying to maul the crap out of you. But if you've played enough Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you'll be just fine. Alright, we're done there. I'm not moving Paul anywhere. I really don't give a shit if he dies, so he's a pawn for me. Back to Laura here. We're going to go up back where we started the torch process again. I guess I could walk you through the lighting of the fireplaces, but really and truly, it's a long process, and I frankly just don't feel like doing it. In fact, if you want to see how to do the torch process, go to my man Lord Chaos and check out his walkthrough with live commentary. His walkthrough for the torch process is fantastic. It actually is what inevitably led me to finding another way yet to find the torch. And his commentary is great. He's got a good deep voice. Alright, back to this cabin. Take that note, and same message as always. We're done there. No weapons, so we'll go ahead and leave. But day 3, Jason is a raging animal, as I have heard and seen before. He is not happy. He doesn't like getting knocked on his ass 2 days in a row. So grab our torch and we'll go stash Laura. If I can figure out not going up on the D-pad. And that's as good a place as any. Looks like Jason's going after our girl, Chrissy. That's his problem. We'll go outside, pump him full of these, and let's see if we can't track him down. The screen would stop again if he was going to come after us again, but okay. Now that we're in the cave, I don't have a flashlight. Unlike Lord Chaos's video, he actually had the flashlight, so it made it real easy to explore the cave. You'll see these 2 rocks right here that are disfigured right where I'm standing. Hit up on the D-pad, you'll go left. you'll see these rocks that are disformed right here hit up again, and we're at the door. And this is Jason's mother's place, and she is waiting for us right there. Now, coming after her with a good weapon is always smart. She'll do 2 swoops on day 2, whereas on day 1 she would only do 1. And just dodge her attacks, which I actually have the vials of red medicine, which help. But few shots from the torch, she doesn't like it too much. Just make sure you time it out, and bam, she's done. Cool. There's Jason's mother's sweater. We'll hit select and take it, and you'll see her flashing now. And let's take a look here. Is there any weapons? Nope. So we're done there. And the sweater will always be flashing on your active counselor. Just simply go back down and exit. Jason's sitting at the lake, so we'll go ahead and stash Chrissy away again. And it looks like Paul has migrated his way into her cabin. I wonder what Paul's wanting in there. Dirty, dirty minds, dirty minds. Okay, go back to Mark. He's got full health. I haven't kicked his ass with Mark yet, so I think Mark's wanting to tear his foot off. Alright, let's go out here. Plus, Mark rose fast. Just keep kind of throwing your... If I would have stayed in the water, Jason would have took damage from it, but it's not really a fair trade. You take more damage than Jason does. You take 1 bar from him, whereas he will take like 3 or 4, I believe. So, not worth the trade. But if you're in the middle of the water, it's always good to get a little collateral damage on him. There's Jason. He's got his Rockstar energy drink. Hit him once. We'll hit him again. It should slow him down, and it didn't. Apparently he's pissed off. Didn't like that I'm equipping all my people. There we go. You'll notice that when he's moving around, he'll slow down like that, but he moves a little quicker than day 1, but then he goes into that cocaine overdrive, and he'll do, basically, that's how fast he is all the time on day 3. The reason I like day 3 is because I can just time his attacks and get to him a little easier. But if you play a lot of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you'll be fine. Oops. Okay. Now that I've got everybody equipped, I guess I can just walk around Mark and kind of, you know, wait for him to strike somewhere. We got our counselors pretty well spread out, so wherever he goes, I have somebody ready to kick his ass. So now while we got a little downtime, you know, it's always kind of awkward to, you know, try to come up with conversation while you're doing live commentary. But, you know, I'm just kind of walking around the lake with Mark here because typically he'll pick a cabin near the lake, but it's not looking that way. There's Debbie, and we'll stash Mark away. Laura's in a pretty decent place. Let's see where Chrissy is. I think I'll leave her there for now. Where's George? I think I'll move Chrissy, actually. A good place to put a camp counselor is right here. This corner of the map is a very pivotal point. Jason inevitably is going to go over this area to get to the cave, so stashing a counselor right there, especially one with Jason's mother's sweater, is a good idea because she won't take as much damage. Go back to... let's go to Mark. Okay. Now, I always seem to do that. I like to do a little pattern myself because I can get to any area of the map pretty quickly, so go down here. Go ahead and let that zombie follow us a little bit, kind of play with him. Now you'll notice that area is the woods right there, so I don't play around in the woods. There's not really much benefit to going there. Sometimes you can find some hidden items, but it's not really worth your time. But the battle with Jason's mother I find to be a lot harder than any battle with Jason, because her attacks are so sporadic. And Jason's back in the lake, so let's go kick his ass. It's just unfair how fast he rows compared to the chicks, so it's usually a good idea to have him handy around the lake. And there he is, equipped with his toothbrush. And you can see he's kind of in his day one type speed. When he swoops in to take a swipe at you, he's a little quicker, but typically when he's circling around, he's in his day one speed, and then he goes into cocaine overdrive. Just time out his attacks, you'll be fine, and this should finish him for the second day. Which I hate doing these cabin battles because they're so damn long. It's just tedious to face them in the cabin. Sorry for the lag in my computer there. We're done there, and just like in the movies, you think he's dead, and oh no, comes back to life. If I could insert Friday the 13th music, I would, but somebody has already beaten me to that one. Alright, day 3. Basically more of the same. Jason's a little faster, but I guess we'll hop on to Chrissy here, and we'll make our way out of the cave area, which I chose to take the long way, but really and truly there isn't a long way when you're on that corner. You go either way, you still got to go through some mileage to get to Jason. Stash her away. It looks like he is going after Laura, which is just fine by me. And you'll see how much faster he is on the pathway. Let's see if we can chase him down. There he is. Keep running after him. And the screen will stop again. And normally I'd run after him if I had the vials of red medicine. Since I have none with Laura, she's got some battle wounds now, but she has hurt Jason pretty well. So we're just going to stash her away, and we'll switch to our old buddy Mark. There he is. Let's see if we can't go intercept his route. It looks like he was heading towards the cave, so let's go after him. Oh yeah, typically you'll find that Jason will work in a counterclockwise rotation on these two areas of the map when he's going around the lake and he's going around the main path. When he's in the cave area, he's going to go in the opposite direction. Why it does that, I don't know, but that's the only time that he'll do that. Okay, back to the matter at hand here. And just as I suspected, he is stalking right there by the cave. Let's go stash Mark. I don't feel like doing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out today. Damn it, it's Paul. Alright. Take him outside. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to try and hang into the end here, so don't be surprised if Paul dies on us here. And he did. I suspected that. That's fine. What we're going to do now, when we're talking strategizing here, let's go pick up Chrissy and go in the opposite direction here. I was hoping he'd be sitting inside there. Typically, if you go back to this cabin, nope. Alright, never mind. Jason has made his way out of here. He knew I was going to come after him with someone who would whoop his ass, so he ran and hid. Okay. Now we're just kind of doing time, waiting for him. Let's get up here by the lake. And the reason I'm using Chrissy is she can take some abuse with this thing. She's got plenty of vials of that red medicine. Let's not run into that dagger. Oops. And see, I always do that shit. Just as I suspected, he's waiting for us right out here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it only takes a couple shots to take him out down to 1 bar. I almost had him with Paw and his rocks. So let's go ahead and go finish the job real quick. Bam. It's been fun, Jason, but you dead. And if you've played this game a lot, you can tell that this is the ending screen. If you haven't, and this is your first time beating it, and it took you a long time to beat it, you may want to sit there and stare at this screen, because if you hit a button, it brings you right back to center. I hope you enjoyed my video. Sorry if it didn't have a great production value, but if you got any other questions, feel free to holler me on my YouTube channel, and I'll be happy to help you out. Have fun and happy gaming.